Hello and welcome to this short video explaining how developers and projects on the Toronet platform can use the Toronet Gateway as a service provider for making payments. The Toronet Gateway is used in the following way. The developer makes an API call to initiate the payment. In the API call, they will indicate what the customer or the user is purchasing and how much. Usually, and for the first implementation, is an exchange of Toros to some other currency, such as US dollars, and that would be part of the API call. So in this video, we're going to show what the parts of the API call is. On making the call, the gateway will process it and then route it to a payment provider. Payment provider could be a card provider, a bank account provider, could be CBDC, and could be in some jurisdiction, such as in many different countries, we are going to have different payment gateways. Based on the currency that the user has indicated, the payment processor will select the right gateway. On completion of the payment, the customer will be routed initially after the initiate command. The customer is routed to a payment interface. The customer will make their payment, and after that, the processor will record that on the blockchain. If it's to purchase a token, the the payment processor will fulfill that and provide the user the token, and also record it on the blockchain, and then return to the application where the user will be able to see the state of the fulfillment. If it's a purchase of Toros, they will see the Toros in their balance. If it's the purchase of some other tokens, they will see the token.
Now, Toronet Payment Gateways has been created in a standardized form such that all payment systems will be a two-step process. Okay, there's going to be only two calls from the developer's point of view, from the developer side, to complete integration with the Toronet payment systems. All right, so how is this going to work? These two steps are as follows. The step to initialize the payment, which basically means to determine and pass information on the amount, the name of customer, and any other information, and then to redirect the customer to make the payment, in which case the customer will provide either a card information, okay, or PayPal information, or debit account information, ACH information for a bank account. Okay, so after the customer completes the payment, then the customer is redirected back to the developer site, and then the developer simply makes a second call. Now that second call confirms in a very secure manner that the payment has been made, and then the the amount of service or goods that's purchased is remitted into the customer's account. All right, so one of the things that we've done in this process also is we're doing away with utilizing admin access to do that. You simply have your reserve, which contains the amounts that the customer wants to purchase, and you have the password to it. And that's what you use basically as the reserve account. So for now, so there are those two steps: payment initialize and record the transaction. I'm going to create a new reserve address account. Okay, so I'm going to give the password to Toronet with the @ symbol just to keep it simple. Okay. Okay, so we need to have a longer password. So I'm just going to go with Toronet 1234. Okay. All right, so here it is. We will save this information. Okay, this is going to be our reserve address. Okay, and so anytime a customer wishes to purchase Toros, they will be purchasing it from this address. So we're going to put that here. and the password, as I said, was Toronet1234. That was simple. Okay, so we are going to save that now. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fund that account. All right, so I'm going to just go here and transfer some Toros into it. So this is my reserve working account from which customers of my project are able to purchase Toros. All right, so we're going to send Toros to that address. Okay, all right, we're just going to fund it with 5 Toros. Okay, it's done. So I will log in now just to confirm my balance. That's Toronet 1234. Just gonna save this. All right, so my reserve address is ready and it has 5 Toros. Now this is my project reserve, and from this address, this account, I'm going to be selling Toros, exchanging, allowing users to swap US dollars for Toros using the payment gateway. So I'm allowing my customers to come in with US dollars and to receive Toros. All right, so let's start with the payment initialize. Okay, there's my customer, and here's my customer's address. And this customer wishes to obtain 2 Toros in exchange for 2 US dollars. So I'm going to put 2 in here as the amount. Okay. In my development, I'm going to make sure that the URL that the system would redirect to is specified. It would be to my project URL. And in case of if the customer cancels, this is going to be the URL it's sent to. Now, this URLs, only this one is working. So let's put that in there. All right, but this is not going to go here. It's going to go to your project. Okay, so now we're going to send the payment initialization for this customer that wishes to obtain 2 Toros from 2 US dollars. Okay, so now we've initiated the payment process, and then in our program on our screen, once we receive this response, we take this URL and we send the user to that URL. So I'm going to just put that here. So the customer will be redirected to this page based on what was returned from the payment initialize call. Okay, so there it is, $2. That's what the customer is going to pay. And so I'm going to proceed to make the payment. Okay. I don't have a card saved, but okay, I might have a card saved, so that's why it's sending me this text to my phone so I can. Okay, so I do have a card saved. Very good. So I'm going to make the payment from my saved information. That's $2. And it would, on success, direct me to the site that I specified as the developer in the payment initialize step. Okay, so all of this are just basic security mechanisms. As you can see on success URL, it goes here, but you will have specified it so it goes to your site. All right, so now the customer has made a payment, right? And now to record that payment, I make the second call on once it's redirected to that site, right? I have to use this transaction ID. So I'm going to grab this transaction ID and I'm going to call the record fiat transaction. Okay. So we're going to put that here. Okay, we paste that there. And also we have to get the address information. So we're gonna copy that. I believe this is the address. Let me just confirm that from the payment initialized. This is the admin, which is the reserve. Because now the funds are going to come from the reserves, which is that five, which has currently $5. Actually, I'm just going to copy it from here. Probably better to copy from here and paste that in here. This is the reserve from which the toros will be dispensed from. Okay, and the password was Toronet1234. All right, so we will record this now that this customer has made that payment. Once the customer is redirected back, excellent. So now this customer has successfully uh, obtained Toros in exchange for $2, and his account is going to have that amount. And the customer happens to be, in this case, I just basically sold it to one of my other address, which is this. Okay. Let's say the recipient exchange $2 for Toros, and the account to which it's sold is what we have there. All right, so let's go see what is left in the reserve following this transaction. We're going to log in as Toronet 1234. Saying there's $3 left in the reserve because reserve has successfully sold some Toros. And when we look at the Explorer, we should be able to see this transaction as well. Sorry. So here it is, 2 Toros that was transferred, and the account that it was sold to is this one here, because I basically sold the exchange of Toros back into my MetaMask address. So there's 2 Toros that I purchased, and my new balance is gonna be, I had 16, and then I moved 5 into that reserve, and then got 2 back in the purchase. So that's why I have a balance of 13.3. And that completes this process. And this is my address. It's going to show all the transactions. So here's the 2 Toros that I purchased.